So I don't go to bars by myself anymore, even though it's my most productive zone. Because in the past 12 months, if I sit down at a bar by myself, some dude will come, like some 50-year-old dude will come and sit next to me and turn to me and say, "Do you want one roofie in your drink or two?" Like my girlfriends that I've known since I was like 8 years old, I'm talking to them and I'm like, we discovered anti gravity and our lives went to shit and people started sabotaging us. And it's a harassment, threat. And I'm talking to my girlfriends that have known me my entire life. And they're like, I've known you forever. I grew up like visiting your house and like listening to your dad rant. If anti gravity were to be discovered, it would be in Huntsville. And if someone in Huntsville discovered anti-gravity, it would be your fucking family. It would be the Eskridges. Have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? P-47 is present plus 47,000 years. P-52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface.
And we're back yet again. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard about people like David Wilcox or Amy Eskridge. They were some of the scientists slash UFO researchers who have been recently unalived. I believe Amy passed, back in 2022, and David just passed away last month. So let's get into it. As always, this video will be for entertainment purposes only. This is my opinion. Please do not mess with my video. And if you enjoy content like this, be sure to like, share, and follow. Amy Catherine Eskridge was born 1987 and passed away in 2022. She was 34 years old. So right out the gate, we can see 34 or 43 for our unaliving number. So, she's from Huntsville, Alabama. She was a aerospace researcher and co-founder of the Institute for Exotic Science, known for her work on anti-gravity technology. I talked a little bit about that in my free energy video that TikTok did not push, so I just deleted it. You can go check that video out on my other platforms on YouTube and BitChute. My name is Deception Decode on all platforms. Well, anyway, Amy graduated from the University of Alabama in Huntsville with a double major in chemistry and biology, and later became an expert in electrical engineering, physics, and genetic engineering. Her unaliving on June 11th of 2022 was officially ruled a self-deletion resulting from a self-inflicted you-know-what. Now, even look at the date of her passing. So June is the 6th month. 6 times 11 is 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So we have 666 coded in her passing date. So very interesting there. Though the case has gained significant attention within a broader conspiracy theory involving 11 scientists, and I actually believe it's like 13, but who have been unalived or disappeared under suspicious circumstances. Now, it's also important to note that there have been many doctors and scientists that have passed away under suspicious circumstances over the years, going back, God knows how long. But for whatever reason, the mainstream media decided to pick up on these 11, 12, 13 scientists. So, do with that information what you will. But resurfaced text and videos indicate Eskridge had claimed she was being targeted by directed energy weapons and stalked by a private entity, explicitly warning a colleague not to believe any reports that she would unalive herself. Research focus. Eskridge co-founded the Institute for Exotic Science to publicly disclose anti-gravity technology, alleging in a 2020 interview that her discoveries led to sabotage and escalating threats. I believe it. Allegations of harassment. Before her unaliving, Eskridge shared images of burns on her hands and claimed she was being monitored by an Eastern European man and attacked via microwave or directed energy weapons. Controversy and investigation. Her case is now cited as the first in a series of mysterious unalivings of U.S. researchers with ties to sensitive aerospace and nuclear secrets. And like I said, it was probably people before she passed away, but for all intents and purposes, we're focused on her today. So, prompting a federal investigation into potential links between these incidents. Family stance. Her father, Richard Eskridge, a retired NASA engineer, has publicly denied that her unaliving was suspicious, contradicting the claims made by her colleagues and the online narrative surrounding her passing. So I find it very interesting that the family's claiming that there's, no suspicious circumstances, and even David Wilcox's family has said something similar. That's a trend that we see in these cases. Are these families being threatened? I'm not sure about Amy. I'm pretty sure, she was in Huntsville, and I believe her father's in Huntsville too. But for David, his family was allegedly like across the country. So how would they even know, whether it was suspicious or not? So allegedly, before Amy's untimely passing, she sent out a text message stating, "If you see any report that I self-deleted myself, I most definitely did not." As evidence, she feared her unaliving would be staged as a self-deletion. Claims by retired UK intelligence officer Frank Milburn that Eskridge was attacked with a directed energy weapon, showing burn marks and sharing videos of alleged microwave attacks. So we have another person who confirmed that she was being targeted with directed energy weapons on top of, her coming out and saying it and providing proof. There's allegations that a private aerospace company unalived her to suppress her advanced propulsion research related to UAPs. Statements from Michael Schellenberger, whose congressional testimony referenced her case as suspicious, and Representative Eric Burleson, who cited significant evidence she was targeted by microwave energy, possibly linked to Havana syndrome. Resurfaced videos and texts where Eskridge described being stalked, received unaliving threats, and believed her work was being surveilled. But despite these claims, the official cause of unaliving remains self-deletion. This is a very interesting time to be alive, but it's also a very dangerous time to be alive. We live in a world where information is viewed as dangerous. Information could be a threat to national security, if the government doesn't feel like the public needs to know certain things for whatever reason that they see fit. But as always, this video was my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please do not mess with my video. Everything I have said in here is alleged. And if you enjoy content like this, you're definitely going to want to like, share, and follow. But only if you're interested, because you never want to miss anything.